So we are here with R'Bonney Gabriel, who is Miss Universe 2022. And just to clarify for anyone who might be confused, why is it 2022 instead of 2023? It's because the 2022 competition was just postponed by a month. So it was held in January. So that's why the year is a little confusing to everybody, but we're just so excited to have you here with us. We have been following your journey since you won Miss Texas. We want to know, how was your experience during the rigorous 2 weeks that you spent at Miss Universe, and what will be some of the memories that will be your favorite or the most unforgettable?
I really had the time of my life. Those 2 weeks were so much fun. It was really busy. It was nonstop. I wasn't sleeping a lot, but to be around all of the girls, I had never been around so many beautiful women, so many smart, dynamic women from all over the world and spend every day with them. It was just so interesting. We would sit down at breakfast and teach each other how we say breakfast in our native language. One of my favorite memories was being able to walk in the Mardi Gras parade in my national costume. That was just so cool to experience with other girls. I mean, I'm from America, so I'm familiar with Mardi Gras, but some of the other girls, like, they weren't familiar with it and they were very excited, and I know they really enjoyed that as well. So I will just remember this for the rest of my life. It was an incredible experience.
So you say you haven't gotten a lot of sleep
No.
since, and you still have an intense schedule as Miss Universe. I mean, immediately after winning the crown, you head straight into media week. So have you been able to get a full night's sleep, and have you been able to eat? I guess, what was the food that you've missed the most while you've been training for pageants, and have you been able to eat that?
One of the foods I miss the most is pizza and ensamada, and I have been meal planning and eating the same meals for about 2 years. So I was really excited after the competition to eat something good. Actually, the first thing I had was cheese quesadilla, though. I was a little underwhelmed, but in the next couple of days, I've had pizza, I've had pasta. But yeah, it's such a whirlwind after you win and you go straight into media week, like you said. I've been sleeping here and there, but I'm tired, but I'm also running on adrenaline because this is just so crazy to me. I'm so happy. So I'm getting my energy from just being happy and excited.
Now, you have been preparing for pageants consistently for the past few years, and now that you have won the most coveted crown in the world, do you feel any pressure or relief just like taken off your shoulders because you've hit it, you've hit the top? You really don't have to push yourself so hard anymore. You've been in preparation mode for so long. What does it feel like now?
Yes, it definitely is a sense of relief now that I'm not wondering, what if I win or don't win this competition? Because that was always on my mind, like, what's going to happen? What's the next step? But it's definitely a lot of pressure. I mean, Miss Universe is a huge honor. It's a big responsibility. I only have 1 year as my reign, and I want to make the most of it and grow even more as a woman, become a better speaker, and make an impact all over the world. So it's definitely pressure in a different way. And now my friend the other day, she's like, it's like you're competing for 12 months in a way. So I'm really working hard, not towards a competition anymore, but to really make the most of it and be a great title holder this year.
We have a question that one of our viewers submitted. They want to know, what was one of your biggest insecurities while competing in pageants, and how did you overcome it?
Well, actually, at the Miss Universe competition, I'm a little bit shorter. I'm not the tallest girl, and I don't have the longest legs, and my walk wasn't the best in my opinion. And so when all the girls came together, over 80 girls, and we're practicing our walks, I definitely felt insecure about it because I was like, I've got to get my walk, sassier, or move my hips more. And I had to just tell myself, don't look around the room. Like, my walk is my own personality, and I just have to own it. I think a good walk really comes from a girl's aura and the way she carries herself, no matter how much her hips are moving or how long her legs are. But during the middle of the competition, I felt insecure. By the time state preliminaries and finals came around, I just told myself I have to own it and sell it to everybody no matter what.
And I think, Arbany, you might be your own biggest critic because
Definitely.
your walk was fierce. It was unforgettable. Everybody was like, yes, girl. I was actually watching the Miss Universe competition while I was at a Lunar New Year party. I was watching it on my phone and being a little bit antisocial. And then the host came over and she's like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, I'm watching the Miss Universe competition. She's like, I'll put it on my living room TV for you. And it turned into a Miss Universe impromptu watch party. And after everyone saw your walk, they're like, she's gonna win. So, you know, we are always our own biggest critics, but I just want you to know that like we thought you did amazing on stage, and I'm glad that the judges saw that as well, obviously, you know.
It worked out. It definitely worked out. And thank you. That I love hearing that you turned it into a whole watch party.
I was like, I just usurped the Lunar New Year party into this impromptu, you know, Miss Universe party, but everyone had a great time. And
Good.
obviously with the results, you know, it ended well. And so it was really, really fun. To follow up with that question, what would you say has been one of the keys to your success in pageantry?
One of the keys to my success is, I would say, man, a lot. I would say I read books a lot, and I was always feeding my mind with vocabulary and words of motivation. That was so important to me. The mind is the most powerful tool in the competition. That's where you get your confidence. That's where you're able to speak, which is very important. And the mind can easily be distracted. So I always say, like, just like when we feed our body with healthy foods to stay feeling good, I think we have to feed our mind the same way with healthy thoughts and words. So I would always be listening to podcasts like Jay Shetty's On Purpose just to feel inspired and focused.
I love that. Now, your national costume was actually a tribute to Houston's very own NASA Johnson Space Center, which is working to sending the first woman to the moon. Now, your costume was incredibly impressive. We know that it weighed about 30 pounds for you to like walk out on stage with that. So what did it take to transport that whole thing to New Orleans? What was really the thought process behind making that happen?
Well, that costume has been through so much. So the designer is actually in the Philippines, and he finished it a week before the competition started. And to ship it from the Philippines to America was going to be about $4,000, and we didn't know if it would come on time. So my parents are the real heroes here. And when they found out about that, they flew to the Philippines within a couple of days. After Christmas, they flew to the Philippines to get the costume. And the costume was so big, it actually, the moon won't fit through a door, a regular door. And it didn't meet the regulations on the plane. And it also wouldn't go through the security x-ray on the plane. So funny story, my dad actually tipped the Filipinos at the airport. He said, this is for Miss Universe. This is for my daughter. She's Miss USA. They let them bring it on the plane. And luckily it came to America all in one piece. But yeah, the costume was huge. It had been through a lot. It definitely weighed more than 30 pounds, and it had lights, and only 3 out of the 5 lights lit up. So by the time I got on stage, I just had to laugh about everything it had been through. It's just funny to me now.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to your parents for
Yeah,
going through all that. So your win really felt like a team effort because all these people played a
absolutely.
hand into making this happen. All right, so we have a question from one of my colleagues, Brittany Wilmore. She is really fascinated by your fashion background. So she wanted me to ask, what goes into the process of designing your pageant wardrobe? Do you or your designers hand sew, hand bead? How long can some of these take?
So I make most of my pieces, especially the ones that you'll see on my Instagram. You'll see me in the studio. Those are all made by me by hand. But as I was preparing for Miss Universe, I only had 3 months to prepare. So I did hire a team of seamstresses to help me make some of my dresses. And, you know, my ideas come from anywhere, whether it's my mood or what I'm going through in life, or if I'm taking a walk outside and I see a nice flower and I love the color of it. But specifically for Miss Universe, I made my interview outfit, and that was inspired by thunderstorms. And so with the jumpsuit, I picked out a beautiful midnight navy color because it reminded me of a dark thunderstorm. And it was really reflecting my time that I was going through that was kind of very troubling as Miss USA, preparing for Miss Universe. It was just chaotic and stressful, but I wanted to share the message that you can find beauty within a storm. So I wanted to create a beautiful interview piece. So I painted it on the sides to create clouds and to create it looking like clouds and rain, and just share with the world, no matter what you're going through, no matter what the chaos is, to always find the beauty in it.
Actually, that leads me to another viewer question we had. They wanted to know, obviously now you're triumphant, you ended up on the other side, overcoming those storms. What were some of the elements that help you weather that storm that you went through shortly after your Miss USA win?
I would say it was definitely a support system. I had family and friends really step in and pick me up when I'm feeling low, or give me tough love and tell me to keep going, and tell me don't feel sorry for yourself. And I would always have to go back to gratitude and always my purpose. So my purpose in the first place when I started pageantry was to become a stronger woman and to inspire people using my passion for fashion. So that's something I don't think anybody can take away from me, no matter how negative I was feeling that day. So that really kept me through, and I would say a very strong support system.
Now, you have made history every single time you have won a new pageant title. Now, this time we're hearing that you are the oldest woman to win Miss Universe, which I don't like to use the word oldest because I'm in my 30s. So I'm like, if Arvin used to win it, that's not even old. I don't like to use the word oldest, but they were saying you're the oldest woman to win Miss Universe. And it was what you talked about during your final answer. So can you elaborate a little bit more about your thoughts on the concept of age in pageantry, especially in the Miss division?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so for the Miss division, you can compete up to age 28. And I just really wanted to convey and share with everybody that I am 28, and I started pageants late in the game. I started at age 26, which I think that the idea of age can deter a lot of women from trying new things. That could have easily deterred me from trying a pageant, because maybe I felt like I was already too far along in my life's path that I couldn't go for something new anymore. So that's why I'm so vocal about my age, because I just want every woman to never feel that way. It really is never too late to try anything new, no matter if you're my age or you're even younger than me or 10 years older than me. You should never fear change or something new coming into your life and actually making something beautiful from it.
And that's incredible because we hear all these stories in pageantry about women who started competing as they were kids,
Mhm.
or they were trained starting when they were in their teens. And so I love that you say that, like, it doesn't really matter when you start, each person's journey is different. And you
Yeah,
just focus on your own lane. Don't focus on the people around you.
exactly. Yes.
So another thing we talked about a lot is your ethnic background. The Asian American community is super proud of your accomplishments. Can you talk about how your Filipino American heritage has really shaped who you are and the outlook that you have on life?
Well, I was fortunate enough to grow up visiting my father's home where he grew up in the Manila, Philippines, and seeing, how different it was from growing up in America. And I realized how blessed I was. And Filipinos, they have that do-it-yourself mentality. If something is broken, they will use anything they find in the room to fix it. And they just work with what they've got, and they make things happen with no excuses. So I was taught that at an early age, just to make things happen for yourself, even if you have limited resources. And my dad just instilled in me hard work and compassion and honesty. And that really helped shape me, not only in pageantry, but in life as well.
And to piggyback off that question about the importance of representation, I remember you saying that a lot of young girls reached out to you and talked about how inspiring it was to see someone who looked like them achieving achieving the things that you did. How talk about the importance of Asian American representation, especially earlier when we were talking about being deterred. When people don't see individuals that look like them in the roles that they aspire to be, how can that affect someone's trajectory?
You know, I know it can be a little bit tough when you don't see somebody that you resonate with, whether that's you feel similar in looks or age or similarities in hobbies. If you don't see somebody on a higher platform that you feel relatable to with, it's hard to see yourself there. So that's why it's so important to champion that I am the first Filipina American. So I want all little girls and Asian Americans, I mean, Asians all around the world to feel seen and heard and inspired, because everybody needs to realize Asians are so beautiful, and I want the world to see that.
How is your year of service going to look like as Miss Universe? I know like we're only on chapter one,
Mhm.
and everyone's going to be following your journey on social media. How much traveling are you going to do, and what will your commitments look like?
Well, from my understanding, I will be doing a lot of traveling, which is really exciting for me. And I've been sitting down with the Miss Universe organization and talking about a game plan. But if it were up to me in a perfect world, my year of service would look like continuing to promote sustainability within the fashion industry, because I think it needs to be the new normal. And there's a lot of room for improvement, as well as ethical practices when clothing is made, because the majority of garment workers are women that are underpaid. So there's a lot of room for improvement for that, as well as I teach sewing classes and I do my sewing workshops here in America. And I want to continue to do that all across the world and give young girls and give women unique opportunities to learn something and just plant that seed of imagination.
I absolutely love that. We have a few initiatives here at ABC13 and Disney. Disney owns our station. And one of those initiatives is called The Magic of Storytelling. I wanted to ask if you have a favorite book. And if you do, could you share with us what one of your favorite books is?
Well, it's always changing, but as of lately, Live Your Dreams by Les Brown, because he tells stories of how he was deemed mentally retarded, actually. But he has one of my favorite quotes, which is never let someone's opinion of you become your reality. So he was believing what people were telling him, that he was mentally retarded. And then he realized one day he doesn't need to let that define him. And after he realized that, his life was unlocked and he became a great motivational speaker and shared his story with everybody. I get so fired up when I read that book.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, as Miss Universe, you know, everyone knows a lot about your background, especially that you're from our area, Houston, Texas. What do you want the world to know about Houston, Texas?
I would love the world to know how talented and hardworking Houstonians are. We are very diverse, we're open-minded, and we come together. I mean, we've been through a lot as a city. Talk about Hurricane Harvey, when we had the hurricane, and the city really came together to help people out when their houses got flooded or damaged. And even though we're one of the most diverse cities, like I said, we will have each other's back no matter what. And I'm very proud of that. I'm proud to be a Houstonian, and I will rep that forever.
With you traveling all around the world during your year of service, do you expect to return to Houston anytime soon?
I really hope so. I hope there is a homecoming happening within the next few months. We're still trying to figure out the schedule and everything, but at some point it has to happen, because I still have my apartment in Houston as well that I need to move out of.
R'Bonney, last question for you. What's your message to everyone who's going to see this story?
Ooh, my message would be to never let negativity stop you from your greatness. I think my story is a testament to that, because being Miss USA for 3 months was not easy. I doubted myself a lot. There was times I wanted to give up, but I did not let the negativity bring me down. And I ended up winning Miss Universe. I really can't believe it. It's the sweetest victory ever. And so I hope this message inspires everyone.
R'Bonney, you are absolutely incredible. Thank you for allowing, your hometown station to follow your journey up to this point. We're going to be sharing this entire interview in its raw form because, everyone wants to get to know you a little bit more. And I felt like we asked a few intimate questions in here. So thank you for just letting us talk to you. And we're so excited to follow your journey.
Well, thank you, Rosie. It's always great to talk to you.
Yeah, we'll see you later, girl. We love you.
Bye. Love y'all.